them.
Tell me about the Storm Spirit's pick. We've seen, so I believe that in the beginning of the group stage, we didn't really see a lot of Storm Spirit, and then as it kind of ramped up, we saw a lot more. Tell me about the strength of this hero.
Garrett was shouting out the Storm Spirit. He wanted it, and I can completely understand why. And when you look at the way that Fnatic has opened with the Nature's Prophet, with the Clockwork, when it comes to hero matchups, this hero makes a lot of sense. You will be able to hunt down that position for Nature's Prophet at any given time, and the Clockwork, until he gets Axe, you don't really care about him. Once he gets Axe, perhaps he can double hookshot you and contain you in spot for long enough, but until that point, every time he hooks, you just zip away. So you're not a target that position 5, 4, whatever can actually go for. Meanwhile, it's obviously Undying's full comfort zone here, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, generally speaking, between the spirits, Storm is the stronger laner. If you play Storm against Ember, if you play Storm against Void Spirit, you're going to have the favorable matchup. I know Taiga on my team likes to say that Earth Spirit's very good against Storm Spirit, but I've yet to see it, and I highly doubt we will in this series. But yeah, so I think a big reason is like you get a very strong lane, and I think when you're in a best of one right now, you're looking at comfort heroes, and you're trying to stay away from like mispicking something or not banning something. So making sure you have a lot of reserve time going into the later stages of the draft.
They're also banning out the other spirit, the Ember. Even though Storm is pretty good, I think it's Fnatic's comfort zone. So they want to get rid of all of these heroes that are extremely capable at making plays in the mid game. If you delete that and take that away from Fnatic, they will have a rougher time dealing with the Storm, who will be zipping in and out of these fights comes mid game.
Yeah, Ember also really enables Nature's Prophet, right? You have this hero that will provide global damage for you, so all you really need is somebody that can catch and set up for you. And Ember is that kind of hero. So when you have the Ember chains and you can follow it up with Nature's Wrath into TPs and the other Clockwork Hook and rockets like that, it makes Ember a lot more scary. So for that reason, I do like this ban a lot.
So it looks like they are kind of letting the clock run all the way down. Is there a strategy involved there?
I think you're probably just taking your time to make sure that you're not missing anything. It's a lot of pressure to be in the booth right now. And, you know, you've done a lot of prep. You've been talking about this since as soon as you knew that you were playing against your opponent that you're going up against. So you're just making sure that everything's playing out the way you expect it to. I think when you make your first 4 bans, you have a rough idea of what you think your opponents are going to draft. So you're prepared. Like, I'm sure Undying knew that if Fnatic opens Nature's Prophet, we're going to respond with Storm, assuming it's not banned.
Considering Fnatic 1 versus Secret to Ricky Marvel, do you think that's maybe an option for them here? It's kind of difficult maybe versus Shaker, but the smoke screen is pretty nice versus Storm.
I mean, I actually think it can be quite nice in a Shaker too. Like, imagine you're jumping in, you put the smoke screen on top of yourself, you can no longer get Echo Slam because if the Shaker blinks in, he's immediately silenced, right? So, absolutely. I think it's a really strong hero. I know we played it a little bit in scrims leading up to the TI qualifiers, and we primarily played it on Boxy because it's just his style of hero. But it's very, very strong. It outputs a lot of damage, and it has one of the most powerful silences in the game because it's ground target AoE, and it has a very large AoE later on when you get the talent. Plus you have a sleeping dart, which is almost impossible to see and people are not used to playing against, which you can like sleep the Shaker, initiate on Storm.
One hero that I'm thinking about for Undying here as well is Terrorblade. That's something that is pretty decent versus Nature's Prophet. Versus the Clockwork, you really have no problems because of all the illusions. But it looks like Fnatic will go the Spirit route and just take the last one remaining. They pick the Void Spirit. There's their Spirit as well, but besides Taiga, I don't think anyone wants to play that mid.
Yeah, I mean, I think it fits the concept of having something that enables your Nature's Prophet and plays off of the clock and Nature's Prophet. So I think the Storm Spirit actually works out great for Undying. I would imagine they're very, very happy right now that they have like a superior mid lane matchup with the tempo controller of their choice.
So those 2 picks, Enchantress and Night Stalker for Undying, came out really, really fast. And earlier you said that letting them take their time to think and use up their time is very effective. So on the contrary, what were the advantages of picking those heroes really fast?
I mean, it puts the pressure on, right? You force your opponent to immediately respond, and maybe they thought they would have more time to think about their pick. And you're draining down the reserve time. We're getting one step closer to a potential misclick.
That is true. A misclick like picking Gyrocopter.
Just a tap on the back here. I feel you, man.
Yeah, I mean, I want to actually, we didn't talk about it, but the Spectre ban I think is really important. We saw earlier today in the IG series, like the Spectre Storm, how effective that can be in teamfights. So I think that was a really, really good ban by Fnatic. They picked Luna. This indicates to me that it's most likely going to be a Clockwork 4, and they're going to play like this Luna Clockwork lane to try to zone out the Shaker and this.
You mean Clockwork 5?
Clockwork 5, sorry.
Yeah. But it's 4 anyway, it doesn't matter for Fnatic.
It doesn't matter who plays it.
Exactly.
One of the things that we got as stats from our statsman Leah is that the Undying's most effective heroes are Tidehunter, Spectre, and Lina, and they all ended up getting banned. Some of them by Undying themselves.
Yeah, I think they wanted a good lane matchup. I really feel that way when I see both Lina and Lesh banned. I feel like they just want the Storm to have a good game.
Still, what they got is completely fine. There's a ton of aggression coming post-laning stage. I'm just wondering if this will be most likely your Earthshaker position 4 now, right?
Yeah, I think the lanes are fairly telegraphed. I don't really think they play Night Stalker carry, and I don't really see any reason to put a carry here. I think most likely it's just going to be the Earthshaker blocking off the wave for the Night Stalker. He's
and it makes it so much easier for the Night Stalker, right? Plus, you're avoiding this bad matchup for an Earthshaker in a form of Clockwork. You don't really like that. You don't want to be playing into that, so you're getting the best of both worlds here.
Right.
Pangolier banned out by Undying and the TB that we called for earlier by Fnatic.
All right, Lizard, tell me, what are the 2 heroes that each of these teams need to pick to really round out their draft?
So when it comes to Undying, they need a carry that's actually decent versus a Luna. And I'm trying to think of some of their carries that are actually still in the pool that can do that. There's also a troll that they've been running before. Something with the build in BKB is always nice versus Luna. There is a Sven that hasn't been touched, but also hasn't been picked recently too.
Yeah.
These are probably the options that they've got.
I feel like as Undying, when you pick Enchantress, you kind of want something that can help dominate the lane with you. You want to utilize the presence that Enchantress has in the early game, like we saw in the series between Secret and OG.
Yes.
I think that was a perfect example of how to draft Enchantress. So you want some sort of carry that will play with her. You don't want to pick one of these like very passive carries that's just going to sit back and lane. Because I think if they do that, then the Nature's Prophet combined with something could be very, very hard for them to play against.
Also keep in mind that these are best of ones. And so far, both of these teams have picked extremely stable, normal heroes, no chase picks. And in best of ones, you always have to be careful. There are Arc Wardens, there are possible, well, probably not Meepos. Medusa was definitely an option, and that's a very good ban.
Yeah. Immediate response Timber. Yeah, I think it's a hard pick for Undying, actually. I'm curious what they're going to pick here. Nothing really comes to mind. I think, like you mentioned, the Troll is strong in lane, but there's always the potential of the Nature's Prophet 4, so you're not really aware if it's going to have that lane matchup that you really want it to have. So it's a tough pick, actually. I'm curious to see what.
Do you think that Lifestealer is playable? I actually saw Koipa play it a bit. Is your teammate? Yeah.
Naga Siren, wow.
Naga Siren, okay.
Is that a good pick? Because you said that you needed someone a little more active, right? Not someone that just sits back and farms, and Naga kind of...
It's just such a difficult hero to perform with. We've seen EG even try and fail, and Arteezy is considered in NA to be the best Naga Siren. So maybe this is a statement from Undying. We can take this hero and we can actually make it work. It's going to be difficult, as strategically you have to play a completely different game with the Naga.
Right.
I definitely think it's a best of one hero. Like, you're going to get farmed on the Naga. The game is going to most likely be in your hands because there's not really a lot of AoE clear on Fnatic. But if the game goes very late, I think this Luna might have the potential to just straight up out carry you. I think Invoker's open, and I don't really know if Fnatic favor that hero, but it's a very strong hero for this game. You get Alacrity on the Luna, you're going to output a lot of damage.
They go with the Legion Commander.
LC. Yeah. So tell me how LC fits into their draft.
So this should be our offlane, right?
It most likely is our offlane.
And you have a ton of AoE damage now versus Naga. Your laning stage itself, even though you're playing versus Enchantress, if you block the camps and play with the Nature's Prophet around Edge, LC should still have a good time. And that's extremely important for Fnatic. Still though, I feel like they're on a timer, and Naga is sort of a hero that, like Aiden said, in best of ones, can put you out of your comfort zone. You're struggling, you're making mistakes because you're doing everything possible to stop her from farming.
Yeah, I think while the Legion is good against the Naga in the lane, one of the difficulties is they don't really have good ways of killing the illusions once they start splitting the lanes, because your overwhelming ult is very effective at killing them when they're grouped up, and it'll be effective in team fights, but stopping the Naga from farming is going to be difficult. And I think if Undying are able to split up Fnatic and force them to play the laning game, the Storm Spirit, Night Stalker, Earthshaker, a lot of great pick-off potential. So I think strategically, if Undying are able to execute their draft, they have a bit of an edge here, but I think their draft is also much more difficult to play. So in that way, I think Fnatic has the edge.
It does. So it does depend largely on their skill then. But on paper, you favor Undying's draft. What about you, Lizard?
I would say that I favor Fnatic's a little bit. I think that skill discrepancy between these two teams isn't really high, but the skill needed, like you said, the skill difference needed to play each other's draft is higher, and because of that, I actually value Fnatic. Mining strategic movements around that Naga. They just need to group up with a couple of items on that Luna and take fights. Also, they don't require too many items. When you look at Shaker, he's farming oriented. Night Stalker, sort of as well. He needs time.
All right, well, we will see how this does when we get into the game. Real quick, first, we will have an interview with Jake and Febby.
Tai nạn quá. Không sao, winnable guys.
Thank you so much, Slacks. And yes, Trent, we are here. It's all come down to this. Enough of the upper bracket shenanigans. We're getting down to the muck. It's the lower bracket. It's best of one's elimination, in fact, and we're already into the game. How you feeling, sir?
Oh, I'm feeling so good. These teams are feeling great. Everyone out there, I hope you're doing quite fine as well. And I know you are, because it's the best day of TI other than the finals. We have 4 best of ones. The way the day started, the matches were so good, both the opening series and then to go into best of ones. This has been an incredible start to a TI.
Absolutely. So we can see already, as we're beginning to get some of those spams of the voice lines, there was a quick movement out and just getting a little bit fresh with each other. The Earthshaker on Moon playing on one of his signature heroes, of course, and DJ trying to battle it out for some space there, but Moon was able to let him walk away, and now they're going to try and battle it out for these bounty runes. So the panel was talking a little bit about this Naga Siren, a hero that's been somewhat underwhelming for a little while, but being played here in these best of one games. What do you think?
Yeah, this comes back to some of the older logic about best of ones. There's this idea that people get scared, right? They don't want to take as many risks because, of course, one punish and your TI, your tournament, your year, or in this case 2 years, is essentially over because you made one bad move in a best of one. And so when it comes to safety heroes and heroes that can like really take a game late, Naga Siren's right up there with the best.
Well, we'll see if they can take it out to the late game indeed, but not too late because Luna looks very freaking scary as you get later and later. But Chuan facing off against Bryle in this mid matchup, one that we've seen time and time again throughout the COVID season. It's Storm Spirit facing off against Void Spirit. And we'll see if they're going to be able to get off to some decent start, early rotations, most likely from the Void and what Bryle wants to do in the Storm.
Yeah, they have quite the battle throughout the entire game, right? Of course, they're both Spirit heroes, so you sort of know what they're up to, trying to get good initiations and pick off potential to set their teams up for the 100 to death on a single person, just bringing them down instantly. And, you know, Storm has to be a little bit more concerned about potential rotations, but these days we're fairly busy on the side lanes.
Absolutely. And speaking of those side lanes, can take a look up here on the top side. Jabs facing off against Dubu in the support battles, and trying to steal away those treants every time they get an opportunity to. And Death playing on a hero is very comfortable with this Legion commander. It's been seen a rise, both flex into position 5, but also still being played into that position 3 route like we're seeing right now, and trying to be a decent laning matchup against Tomato on the Naga.
Yeah, for sure. It's something that you'll see very often, even in just like pubs and stuff. But I thought Insania brought up a really good point about just just like when it actually gets in that like mid and especially like the later parts of the game when the illusions get very tanky, it can be a little frustrating as a hero to try and deal with that part of the wave push. So luckily you will still have the pick off potential to try and bring Naga back down to size. But the two of us, we were very blessed during the group stage to watch this Jabs Nature's Prophet before, and it was infuriating to watch. I can tell you easily it was the most annoying looking opponent of the entire group stage that we saw.
Right, and the big thing that he was doing constantly was blocking out ancient camps, blocking hard camps as we DJ get a little bit of pressure here onto Moon, who's keeping the wave back. This is going to be a lot of damage as they connect in with the cogs also, starting to get some creep damage into there, and Moon getting body blocked now. With Saberlight coming over to help, that's going to be enough to get that Earthshaker away. So that does set them up for a little bit of a double wave.
Oh, he's got friends here with all these creeps, more battery salt and cogs.
And some trouble. Saberlight trying to get a little bit away from him, but the damage already coming out from that clock, and Raven moving into position. Saberlight dropping lower and lower, the Lucent Beam. And DJ drawing first blood.
Oh, first blood onto a Clockwork 2. Already has the boots. That's going to secure the Tranquils now for DJ starting out. And I mean, you got to love seeing this matchup too. DJ, an amazing clock player, and then Moon Meander, even back in his off-lane days, one of his more iconic heroes in the Earthshaker. Probably the one I would choose for him if I was going into a best of one. And I said, you know, he loves having the team on his back. He loves being able to just like pump them up and make that big play. And Shaker's one of the absolute best heroes right now from the position 4 to do that.
I mean, literally every TI time, Earthshaker just comes back, right? Yeah. Like, people just love this guy. Punish his mistake. It's everything you want.
Valve has an agenda. You know, there's some Earthshaker players there. It's quite obvious.
There you go. That's fair enough. So you can see DJ again zoning back with this clock position 5 as in the mid lane. We haven't really taken too much of a look at it, but Chuen getting a little bit of the lead right now. 20-5 versus the 17-1. Nothing really to write home about. Obviously has that Quelling Blade and a little bit of that damage battle being played out there mid.
Yeah, and of course, Undying always trying to get Bryle off to a decent start so that he can make those plays across the map and secure that late game for Tomato. So you can see they've already covered his small camp there to ensure that's going to be there for the Storm Spirit. Always an important tool. Don't want to have that blocked out like so many teams have been doing.
Right, and because of that, you're seeing the rotation that comes over, both supports wanting to ensure that they don't get a rune up, but Chuen still able to get it. 2 supports rotate to his lane, and he still gets a water rune. Pretty good play.
Nah, that is definitely not ideal. On the other side, though, Dubu does secure the bounty rune up top, which, of course, Jabs is now coming over to check, and well, Jabs will find that his own camps have been messed with this game, thanks to Dubu.
Very well played. So yeah, a little bit of a steady start as we go into this best of 1, but the rotation's coming now from Dubu. They want to try and slow down this Void Spirit if at all possible. And for the moment at least, you know, Naga Siren just completely free, heads off into the jungle, Tomato left alone.
Yeah, Jabs is like wandering around up here like, guys, I think they're just gone, you know? They blocked off the hard camp themselves to take away a little bit of fire from Tomato. Now Jabs will send in the Transit Scout, but now he's just helping bottom.
Down bottom, but saved by Moon. Jab's rotation not able to bear fruit as Saberlight going to continue to play a little bit on the weaker side, but now as we get to this 5-minute mark, this is where Night Stalker can start to shine a little bit, going for that 2-1-1 build.
Yeah, we saw Jabs a lot of early points into teleportation the last time we saw him play this hero, just trying to get active all across the map, and he has another good game for it here, right? Luna, if you're trying to like last it versus the hero, you're never quite sure when she's gonna like turn on you and get a stun and lead some kills, and of course following a Clockwork all game is always gonna be good too. As you can see, Bryle still not level 6, so they want to put some pressure on.
Jump in right away, only level 5 right now on Bryle, but they move in with the Nature's Attendants to heal him back up, so Bryle will live through that. Not so lucky as DJ. Good rotation, and right now Dubu, the man making the moves.
Dubu with the baits, hiding behind the tree and popping out there with the help of the Satyr. Turning what looked like a free kill onto an underleveled Storm Spirit into a reverse back.
And you can see kind of the differentiation that we're seeing between these two teams, right? There's this core combo of heroes that have pretty good CS, but it's really supports on Undying that are trying to make up for that differential in terms of their net worth as well.
Oh, and Moon Meander even messing with these darn treants here. Came over trying to get the rune. He's able to take that. Now Jabs did manage to deny another one, but he might also be
Dubu.
Oh, nice.
Close down. So they're able to make that move over. Bryle does get the Obs Ward, but comes at a cost.
And Jabs is everywhere. going for the urn, same build as last time too, and yeah, once more Tomato, you can see there, just farming away through the jungle. Nothing too surprising, item build wise. Manta coming out first here after the treads.
Tomato definitely has been a standout player. I will say it feels a little bit different than some of the other heroes that he's been on recently. When I think of Tomato, particularly throughout the DPC and everything else, it was like a Monkey King, that type of active can sometimes get in there hero, but swapping it up in this time and playing that Naga, we'll see how he does on it. As the 7-minute mark comes around, you can see the battle still going off as a couple of heroes rotate bottom. Dubu wanting to get active, and DJ's going to be there to break the smoke. The Cogs down, Moon hoping to break this, but of course, the Clockwork versus Shaker dynamic, but he's able to get that Fissure block off. Moon Meander moves over, and Saberlight trying to play cleanup as DJ going to take him for a little bit of walk. This space created, but in the end, he will fall.
He's dying there, but he just saved Raven, right? Yeah. Raven was in trouble. There are some benefits here. You are the Luna, so you're going to have that bonus night vision. Of course, they're mostly going to be trying to make plays on you at night, you know? That's kind of what Night Stalker lineups do, so already going to be helpful there, but still best that your carry doesn't go down, and well played there from DJ. And look what his other teammates are doing here, pressuring into that mid lane, bringing over those supports once again. Moomiander and Dubu, I feel like, well, particularly Moon, going to be very under-leveled with how much movement he's had to incur here.
Yeah, not necessarily what you want out of that Shaker. Loves to get into the quick blink dagger, but they need him. As the opening starts in full commitment for the runes, you can see they're really wanting to play around that whenever Storm gets an opportunity. Unfortunately, this time for Undying, it's only an invisibility, which Fnatic are sure to be thankful about.
Yeah. And the easiest player in the game has got to be Death. I mean, top of the net worth, 58-11, big old goose egg, and the KDA. He's just chilling.
He's having a great time. Ring of Health to start, so his laning stage isn't going to be that big of an issue, and with Phase Boots already done and bringing out the full wand, he can be probably the strongest hero on the map right now, potentially, with the exception of like the Void Spirit.
Now they're trying to pressure DJ down bottom. They missed the Fissure, but they do at least get the block off.
Nicely played. Cogs down. Are they going to fully commit to this one? Doesn't look like it. And instead, they will let him live for the moment as top tier 1 tower goes down.
They're trying to mirror this movement and put some pressure on the bottom lane. The second Dubu couldn't contest top, he TP'd to the bottom lane, has to come down here, grab a creep. Of course, one of the weaknesses of Enchantress, you're not exactly the best at going from one end of the map to the other if you've recently enchanted a creep, but we'll just some creeps here and start hitting away.
Absolutely. Top lane,
here. Yeah. This should be a really easy setup.
And there's the pull-in. They've got him caught for the moment. Gonna pop ulti from Saberlight as the chase down comes. And yeah, there was just absolutely nothing Death could do as soon as Bryle was there. And also, on the other side, find themselves 1 kill, pulling back onto Moon. Look at this, Fnatic making the moves that they need to as they find 2 in return.
Yeah, perhaps Death sort of knowing what he's doing up there, right? Being that far in the lane, I'm sure expecting that a rotation would be coming, but you saw what a struggle it was to even bring him down there, right? Taking 2 of the core heroes, so easily able to jump here, yeah.
And again, DJ gonna be caught. Tomato trying to run him down with those illusions, but they don't have the ability to chase any further.
He has wasted so much of their time.
He really has.
Yeah. So he's trying to take the crown of most annoying support player on Fnatic, it seems, because it feels like they're just constantly chasing him, bullying him back. I mean, think about when they dove him behind that tower. That tower is still up down bottom.
Yeah.
After all that, right? Still plenty of space here, and gives Raven a little bit of safety as you move through your own jungle and up to your Ancients. You can see the line even being drawn by DJ saying, all right, bottom's mostly done. We're going over the top side of the map here. I want to push them away from our Luna's new camps here.
So in towards mid they go yet again onto Saberlight. The pullback, the rundown. Do they have enough though? Doesn't look like it, but the Clockwork hook shot in afterwards. They got Moon Meander locked down and killed. Last time Saberlight gave up his life. This time they turn it around and take down Moon instead.
And now it's pressure onto the middle tower here. The next lane to perhaps go down here. Catapult wave is here. Saberlight being zoned back.
And they just can't do anything. And in fact, Saberlight, if he's not careful, he might also fall. So Chua and DJ making the moves, taking down this mid tower, and if Undying aren't careful, they're gonna get shut out of their entire map.
I see 5 heroes, I see 4 points Lunar Blessing, and I see 1 very dead tower.
This is deadly for Undying. They will also deny that tower down bottom. So even when they're finding tower and objective kills on Undying, it comes at a cost. Undying picking up some extra gold from that one.
Oh,
now,
surely they got to get this one, right?
Oh,
the
DJ.
Tumbler's toy.
It's just away. They're playing it too clean right now in Fnatic. It was really solid Dota.
I mean, I feel like, wait, you heard, well, I'll have to wait for this one.
Oh my god, immediately into the cogs pushback. Dude, DJ is everywhere.
The amount of resources that have just been wasted by him is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Stormy, you need every bit of mana right now, right? You're playing a hero down. They're willing to bring 5 heroes to a fight. You are not. So Storm has to do a little bit more lifting than is required from the Void Spirit, and hard to do that when you're constantly being annoyed once more.
Well, and some of this obviously is going to be, as we see Jabs also there, denying one of the bounty runes with those treants. That's the other thing that he was doing pretty consistently. But they haven't really been able to find good runes for Storm, even though they've gotten each of them. The Invis, that one time we saw just now an Illusion rune picked up as well. Not necessarily there for kills, but this one at least will allow him to play a little bit more aggro. Chua, in the meantime, trying to get into the Yule Scepter.
One thing that I really like is that Fnatic aren't panicking about the Legion commander. Because sometimes you'll see a Legion who just like starts hunting and smoking and everything, but like why? You know what I mean? I feel like Death's just having a free game. Yeah, it sure died the one time, but it's all right.
Oh my god, is DJ gonna get away yet again? Ryle pops in, the Earthshaker Fissure comes out, tries to bring him down. DJ ends up falling in the end, but they kill off the Storm. What a cost! Echo Slam afterwards, trying to find something right now for Undying. Can they get any more? Chua backs away, but there's the duel going to connect now onto Saberlight, and with Raven moving in, it's going to be another one biting the dust. Undying lose 2 in exchange for 2, but it's much bigger with the mid and off lane going down.
And on the other side of the map, you can even see Tomato trying to hold this game together for his team, being chased around by the treants. It looks like he did get the spawn at the very least this time, so we'll have some Ancients that he's able to farm. Not taken away for once, but so much pressure, and there's the replay. All for a D ward, of course, and DJ almost getting away with another Tumbler's toy.
Unbelievable. And just so much
that press the attack right there, too. Yeah. Just a little bit.
Oh. Unbelievable. And then the Echo obviously to try and turn whatever they could afterwards, but by that point, having lost the Storm, it already felt so bad, and a quick and easy duel rundown. So with that, Fnatic take a 2,000 gold lead. At the very least for Undying, the saving grace, Tomato. Been able to get some AFK farms sitting top of the net worth. What does this Naga need to do in this game?
Well, wants to contribute sooner rather than later. So currently eyeing up an Orchid, which I would say would be quite a good option here. Yeah, Void's going to have the Yules early on for sure, but you know, Storm's not going for an Orchid right away. Tend to try and avoid that item these days on the Storm Spirit, as DJ will shove back his opponent there.
Almost able to connect. The Tumbler's Toy doing a lot for that Clockwork. Maybe one of the best Tumbler's Toy games that I've seen in a while. Able to make a lot of escapes as well as a couple of those initiations. Didn't quite connect that time. But still, Saberlight backs out, and you can see that Undying are not being completely zoned out of the map. They're still getting some good farm, able to farm all the lanes.
Yeah, there is a bit of the vacuum effect happening, though. This tends to happen with your Terror Blades and your Naga Sirens, where maybe you have a greedier support on your team, right? Like perhaps an Earthshaker. We'd love to get a Blink Dagger at some point, but it can be very difficult to actually find that safe place to farm because you've got Naga Sirens pushing out these waves and getting the creeps further and further from your base because you're just so necessary that you pump this Naga Siren up as much as possible.
And you can see right there as well, they brought in Bryle to bottle that bounty rune, worried a little bit about those treants taking it away. So 15 minutes now as the bottom lane will get pushed in again by these illusions, and Raven feeling fairly comfortable trying to queue into that BKB next.
Yeah. I definitely worry for Undying when this BKB comes out on the Luna. I feel like it's going to be very tough timing for them to fight. And you're also looking towards a BKB next onto the Legion Commander melee eventually. But for now, it is the Blink and the Hood looking for a kill.
And look at this.
Wants the first duel win of the game.
Saberlight, oh, gets caught off in the trees. Not often you get the Night Stalker at night. but when you have that clock vision and initiation, it's easy as pie.
The Max Lunar Blessings are so good this game. Like, it's such an excellent idea to use this versus the Night Stalker. Just run into their territory and take away that advantage the hero's supposed to have. Like, it's difficult to prep for the setup that you're supposed to have this edge over your opponent. Oh, it jabs. He's hunting. He's looking. Ward behind.
Oh, they got him off in the trees. Fnatic, they find themselves a target. Echo just to try and escape, and they will be able to. Now Bryle looking to try and turn onto this, but another called pushback. The Fissure onto Luna, getting a little bit of separation. And
Jazz still back here.
Might have gone a bit too far finally, but the rest of Fnatic is moving in as well. They jump forward, find the kill onto Moon, trying to get that finish. DJ jumps in, but Chuan right on top of him as well. The jump from death turns to the kill. Saberlight wants to clean up, but do they have anything left in the tank? Chuan gets the TP away. Raven, BKB, TP's out. A good escape from Fnatic, although they might be able to play a little bit of cleanup there. Death, blinking one, gets out.
Not going to catch any of those stragglers. Overall, I would consider that a pretty big win for Undying, considering how that fight started. First off, is even more so, perhaps.
He stuck around to struggle for a second.
I think everyone else is ditched, though. They're not coming. We're fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, they hold the tower. Right now, that's the name of the game for Undying. They're just trying to slow things down, extend this game out as far as they can, and it's only a 2K lead, where it feels like for a lot of this game, Fnatic have been in control.
It's true. That's the thing that's kind of interesting about it. And using that first BKB charge, if they do start to wear down a little bit low on Fnatic, that's where maybe you're overextending slightly and things could get a little bit dicey. By the way, Orchid done on Tomato. Gotta be careful here, Fnatic, as they smoke into this.
Oh, and Dubu, they need Tomato here.
They're gonna break it immediately onto Dubu.
Let him go.
Ends up dying with a hook shot, looking forward for more. Saberlight, he's also caught. Has to back out of there. He's dropping down lower and lower. And Undying, they wanted to hit that timing and take the fight, but they were already too dead.
This is such a good game for support Clockwork because your opponent is trying to stall. They're trying to hold things out. And so when you get these little picks, they're happy to just send off Dubu, push him out on the ice flow to save the rest of the village. But in this case, DJ, he just says no. He's going to hook shot way into that back line and keep that fight going. Get that +1 kill.
Now looking for more. So many times, how many moments have we seen a Naga song in the Roche pit? Have to be careful about this opening. No Blink Dagger yet done on Shaker. This is the scariest time at this point in the game for Undying if they give up this Aegis for nothing. But you can see Fnatic respecting it. Jump forward though! They find one again. It's Dubu. Song immediately afterwards. Thinking about jumping. They want to get the vision. Moon can get it right on top. And with the silence afterwards, do they have enough for the fight? The Fissure comes out, connecting on a 2, trying to find more, but Raven walks up to high ground. Look at that overwhelming odds. They do so much damage, but is it going to be enough? DJ on top and catching 2 in the cogs. They bit off more that they can chew, and Chuan was happy to give it to him afterwards. As Bryle does a little ring around the rosy, he tries to TP out, and zigged when they should have zagged. Fnatic not quite able to catch him.
Oh, that Orchid follow-up there, just not enough to get the finish in the air. In the end, coming off. Not sure where the press the attack. Yeah, it was the press attack on the Void Spirit. Figured that had to be it because it was looking really dangerous. I thought the Soul Burn was going to kill him for sure. So excellent play there from Depth to get the save, and that's going to put them right into the Roche pit.
And with this, no Naga song. And Fnatic in the pit. It should be first Aegis of the game and a 4,000 gold lead right now for Fnatic. Moon has to back out.
Oh, he's
still
so close
not
to Blink
Dagger.
It's just just there though,
Oh man,
it's like I just get home and sell the stick. Like please,
sell the Quelling Blade, sell anything. Just
the
get
danger
out.
is there, and it'll be all right. And we can wait 50 seconds for that to pop out here. But mid lane, Dubu, lots of OBS and Sentry vision here, and now a flare even. DJ, he wants it.
Oh, get out of there. That was close. The hook shot almost able to connect. They will Quelling Blade it down as Dubu pulled back into position. DJ now moving also, and with the duel committed, they find another kill, taking him down. 50 duel damage on the Legion.
Yeah, and of course this comes back to another discussion of just like delaying the game and waiting things out, and there is an additional punishment there. Clockwork is getting these hook shots, is giving you like 2 kills instead of 1 at times, but also infinite scaling.
So strong.
Every time we win one of these duels, we're gonna pump that damage up now up to 50, hitting some big numbers here, multiple reps for Depth. Let's get huge.
They will take down that tier 2 tower in the top lane as well, which opens up the outpost. Fnatic trying to put their grip really on this
Saberlight down here.
Raven's in the area too.
Dangerous stuff, yeah. Trying to catch a cheeky little pick, I think.
Just thinking about how these teams have gotten here as well, and Undying's path and sort of the love affair that they've had with Southeast Asia Dota throughout the past couple of days. You know, the turnaround where they're winning over EG, put T1 in the upper bracket, and now facing off against Fnatic to potentially eliminate them. And Fnatic looking like they might be able to do it here.
Oh, and look, these same plays we saw before. You have the treants in your area, like in your side of the map all the time. So it's nothing surprising, but you can also just smoke and follow them as Fnatic. This is a play they'll like to do every once in a while because they feel like these stupid, annoying things you can just run up and kill. But every once in a while, 4 heroes pop out, and you know your biggest core is going to die.
Sometimes it's good to bait a hero, but if you can bait treants, that's even better. But will they fall for that bait? Time will tell. Blink Dagger done. Fnatic. Ooh, does he think about going?
I mean, they've got vision up top on that pillar, so they actually see Tomato farming. They also recently spotted the Storm moving through too. They see Bryle, so they have zero fear on this side of the map right now.
Fnatic are just playing so well right now in this game 1 of a best of 1, and Raven going to pressure and take another tier 2 tower.
Oh, this has got to be a timing, right? They just got the BKB on the Storm. Mumiander wants to use this big blink. Only level 10. But has the 4 points in the aftershock.
Has to be careful. They have that ward up on the high ground. Gonna pop it right at the start. Jump now onto Raven. Can they get there in time for the press the attack? No, nothing. Chase down, maybe looking for round 2 now. Chew it, pull back on a Bryle. They caught him, the echo. Connects onto 3, but where's the damage? It was the song. The timing. Oh, that was not how it was supposed to go for Undying. And now Dumu gonna get dueled. The fissure to separate. But the range is more than enough as they take down that Enchantress. Chewin goes in for more, and now the control's gone on a boat. Buyback. Can they kill off this Void Spirit? But there's the press the attack to keep him alive. And now it comes out for round 3 again. Raven will not be denied. And DJ giving the tip to his old coach. Oh, unbelievable. 18-7 and a 9,000 gold lead in Fnatic. I don't know if they're leaving.
Tomato's just heading out of there. He knows right now, right? Oh, he actually finds DJ.
Able to catch there.
Yeah, back in the
down. Bryle looking for more. And that's another kill as they do bring down DJ. So something on the board for Undying, but Fnatic, they got the bigger win. They take that bottom lane of barracks.
That team fight is just so difficult. Like the communications, trying to figure out what to do off that Aegis. It feels like, you know, maybe you just want to give it to them when the Aegis goes down, right? But the problem is you also understand the situation you're in as Undying, and this looks like a time where perhaps you can get that big play. You can make the turning play for your team, and then the song and the echo overlaid. Clearly something happened there in the comms.
Well, and now you're staring down the barrel. This is where you really test yourself as a team. Can Undying hold off the pressure from Fnatic? Fnatic, again, 2 TIs in a row going out in this position. They want this year to be different for them. But will it happen? Can they close this one out in a dominant position here?
We're right back to the same spots here as Fnatic take the bottom, top. Again, still under that ward for Tomato and Bryle. Talk about value vision here. They're going to know the Storm TP back home, though.
Tier 3 tower being hit. Raven, Scotty done. And Tomato hoping to stop this, but the jump in from downtown wants to find 1 kill. Can they get Raven? Hanging on to that BKB, no fears.
That shard there.
It's too strong. And with Saberlight dead just like that, they can go for another round as soon as they regen back up to full.
And they're just showing Raven a lot of the times. DJ's like hiding in the side trees, right? You have that big counter initiation play ready from the clockwork.
Death is there also, has that press the attack ready at a moment's notice. They jump again, but can they find a kill? The taunt afterwards on the moon. The captain is going to be found, but will he die? They have the song to separate it a little bit, getting Moonmeander out of there, but they've already lost Bryle. I don't know if it's going to end up mattering. He wants to save his captain, but they can't save his life as Death comes in with 1 more press the attack. Rax falling in the mid lane. Fnatic, they won't be denied.
They played masterfully this game. They took such excellent little risks in their play where they brought heroes maybe a little earlier than you'd expect, but utilizing that aura again to just fight with numbers and take the most important team fights. And then also the coverage they have here onto Raven. They make his life so easy with the press the attack, the defensive hook shots that come in and cover. And again, how do you initiate?
The silence. They've got no way in right now with the Earthshaker dead. They're ready to go for round 2. Look at this. And Fnatic, they're playing so safe. They know the only way that things can get really bad is if they all get caught, but there's a way to catch one. Jabs, under control, Raven just gonna TP out. Very well played, Juan. Oh, he gets caught.
All right, big one, big one.
Undying, able to find something on the way out of this as they chase down Jabs, and now gonna kill off this Void Spirit. Glimmers here. Silver linings around a stormy cloud that's been this game.
Yeah, it's a very small rebate after losing a couple lanes of racks here, but the game continues. It's a best of one. Surely they're going to fight this one right to the end. And we have definitely seen wilder comebacks at TI. There's no doubt about that.
Well, and thinking about, buybacks that potentially could come out in a little bit here, we can sort of keep our eyes on that as something that Undying right now only have it on the Shaker.
They gotta go. They gotta keep them off balance. Void Spirit's still down. Go fight. Looking to use this dunk.
Looking for it. Vision yet again. Raven there. Hook shot in. Big old hit as they come through onto both of them. Just like that. Fnatic take 3. Raven's pretty good at Dota. Gotta watch out for that man.
Feels like they did such a good read. They have such deep vision as well, of course, on the side of Undying. Or rather, on the side of Undying's map. So Fnatic know sort of the options they have to try and get back into this game. And
right.
I definitely appreciate going for the risky plays. You can't sit in your base right now as Undying, or you're just going to be doomed.
That hero's not even in the game.
Well, they just picked Nagasai, which works in a different sort of dooming, it seems.
DJ, what a performance from him on this clock. I think that there were a lot of people and a lot of fans of Fnatic that were questioning the DJ swap over to position 5 and if that was actually going to make it. He's still looking unbelievably strong, and even without all of the same resources that we're seeing from they're both playing immaculately together.
Yeah, and he'll play the poorer 5s when necessary and do it quite well, but I love it when you get these heroes that can have a little bit better impact from that role. And I think Clock's probably the best one.
Again, trying to hold off this pressure, but Raven is again going to walk up high ground, and Saberlight hoping to stop something here, wants to get to the back line, but the taunt is there. A little bit off the mark with the Remnant. Raven still standing up.
One last rack there.
And it's going to go down as they jump into the back line. Ryo wants to get this kill on this Legion Commander. A good jump to the other side afterwards, but Saberlight down low. Raven walking in right on top. They find him on the back line again. Moon caught, Moon killed, and GG it's going to be called as Fnatic. They're just a little bit too clean in this one.
They're so strong, Fnatic. Strong enough to survive the best of one at TI, and look at that. That's relief.